Hey, good evening. This is Carol J. Dunlop, your online wow strategist and Amazon #1 international best-selling author. How are you doing? I know it's the evening, it's not during the day, so I wanted to do something a little bit different, change it up a little bit. And for those of you who are coming on now who may not know me, I work with women entrepreneurs who struggle to market their business successfully online. So tonight we're going to talk about, and I'm going to tell you about the #1 way to get in front of your ideal clients, your ideal perfect audience so that they see you, they get to know you, like you, trust you, and start buying from you. It's much easier than you think. And I thought of this because I recently attended a program, and Jack or Jeff, sorry, Jack or Jeff, Olsher is his name, and he had a program called something about guesting on podcasts. And his whole program was about how you need to start guesting on podcasts, and he had the podcast that you need to guest on, and he tells you how to do it and all that. Great program, wonderful, awesome program. But I was thinking, I do that all the time. I guest on podcasts. I tell people. Matter of fact, you can go back and look on my LinkedIn account, or you can look on my blog and see, even on my Facebook and in my book, I Market Your Business, that I was talking about you need to guest on other people's podcasts. And this gentleman has created a whole program around that. Isn't that totally awesome? And I want to let you know something. The program is like $1,400. Well, really $1,500 because it's $1,497. Great program. If I didn't know any of that stuff, I'll be hopping on that program in a minute. But I knew basically what he was talking about. Of course, I can't know everything because he's been on many more podcasts than I have. He said he's been on 500. So I have not quite been on 500. So, but I know what he's talking about. And I was like, I need to be telling my people they need to be really, truly, right now, you need to be getting on some podcasts and getting in front of your target audience because they're waiting for you. I got some stats here for you. I have some information for you. Then I just saw this article on entrepreneur.com that just cements this idea. So let me break this thing down to you. Okay, so anyway, let's see, where's my agenda? There we go. I can't do anything without my agenda because I can't think. All right, so why podcasting? Anyway, why are podcasts taking over the world? Commuters, the people who drive, the people who ride, the people who drive and ride, they have traded in their playlist for podcasts, and consumers everywhere are tuning in to online talk shows. I mean, yes, you listen to music. I listen to music, but sometimes I'd rather just listen to someone who's going to give me some great value for my business. I love doing that. If I'm commuting on the bus or the train, or I'm riding in someone's car, or I'm driving myself, because you know what? Now all the new cars are going to have Apple Play in them. What does Apple Play mean? It means that it's attached to iTunes. And why is iTunes important? Because iTunes is where the podcasts are, the majority of them anyway. Just like when you think of finding something, what do you say? I'm going to Google it, right? Google is the behemoth, the master of the search engines, right? There are others, Yahoo, Bing, and Safari. Well, Safari is a browser, but yeah. What was it starts with an M. Why there are other search engines, you just don't know them right off the tip of your tongue like you do Google. You say Google for everything. That's how iTunes is. iTunes rules where the podcasts are, and everybody's trying to get up on iTunes because it's really a giant search engine for information, not just for the latest hip-hop artists and rappers and singers to put their stuff on and sell. There are some great talk shows and podcasts on there. So now 24% of Americans over the age of 12 now listen to podcasts on a monthly basis. And Statista projects that by 2021 there will be more than 100 million. Let that sink in for a second. 100 million podcast listeners in the United States alone. That is not counting other countries, other English-speaking countries, and just other countries, period. But if you think of the English-speaking countries in addition to the United States, oh my gosh, right? So that is I don't know, you can't even say it, a huge opportunity for you to find a podcast, several podcasts, to guest on. So let me break this down even further, because here are, you may say, you know, wait, let's just say is, sorry. Why is why use, I forgot the E. I was like, what does that say? Why use podcast guesting as a marketing strategy? And here are 4 reasons why you want to do it. Number 1, your audience has a problem and you have the solution they're looking for. And when you start guesting on podcasts, you start appearing on a regular basis to your audience. They start to get to know you, like you, trust you, figure out where you are, follow you back to your site, and start buying from you because they want the solution that you offer. The second reason is podcasting is easy. Easy, we all love easy, right? Podcasting is easy for audiences to consume. I just said they're starting to put Apple Play into cars, so you can have that little app. Excuse me. You can have that little app on your dashboard. You've already got it in your smartphone. It's on your iPad. It's in your tablet. It's on your desktop. It's even on your watch. So, you can listen to it at any time you want. You can listen to any number of podcasts anytime you want. So the opportunity is there. As long as people can be connected to the internet, and guess how they get connected to the internet? Their phone or device or whatever, so they can download their episodes or even listen live. I do my show on Thursdays at 1 o'clock. Hey, I do my show live. So I love doing it live. I love, the mistakes that happen, the dead air, whatever. I love the energy of it all. Some people don't like that. Some people record it, and some people don't catch it live. They get it. They will download their podcast of choice and listen to them. They may even binge on it. Just like you binge on Netflix and Hulu, you can binge on podcasts, and a lot of people do. Number 3, people are looking for podcasts to consume. Now, Apple, I'll tell you about iTunes, has surpassed 1 billion subscriptions cast via iTunes. But that's not the only place that podcasts are. Remember, I was telling you there are other places. You could go with Stitcher, Spreaker, Lisbon, YouTube, SoundCloud, to name just a few. There are some other places that house podcasts, that present podcasts, and the consumer knows about them. Now, even if you're a business B2B company, your business to business company, there's a consumer in that company somewhere. There's a consumer who's the VP of marketing or the COO or the CEO. They're all consumers. It's just not, all of us are looking to solve some type of problem. Even if there are CEOs out there, they have problems in their life. They need, they need mindset coaching. They need to lose weight or gain weight. They need a productivity coach. They still need to market their business. They may have a business on the side. I was just contacted by a client who we're going to start working together really soon. She's getting ready to leave a job and start her own company. She's working in a company, but she's getting ready to start her own thing. So you never know. People, like I said, people are looking for solutions. You have the solutions and they need to find you. And then the 4th reason is you will be the expert. When they hear you and they hear you talking your talk and telling how you've done all these great things, even if it was in a company and you worked there for 20 years and you're just starting your business, you have that experience already. Don't let anybody fool you. You still have that experience, right? So they hear you talking about this stuff and they're like, wow, that person has the information that I want. They have the solution to my problem. I'm going to follow them over to their website. And then the rest is kind of history because they get to know, like, and trust you. Then they buy from you. Had that happen more than once just in the last couple of weeks, just in the last couple of days, actually, where people found me through the podcast or found me online, followed me over to the website. I put out an offer and boom, they're on my list. I start talking to them. We're going to get to all that later. Sorry, don't let me get sidetracked. So this is how you're going to get started getting on to podcasts. So first of all, you have to figure out, what are you talking about? My 3 things that I always tell people, tell business owners, is that you have to know who your audience is, who you're talking to. You have to know what their problems are or what they're looking for you to solve for them, and you have to know what you're going to provide for them to solve those problems. So those 3 things. So you have to know that. So for me, for instance, I look for podcasts that cater to women entrepreneurs and basically have a marketing somewhere in there, marketing arm, a marketing theme. If they're talking to women business owners, usually these women business owners want to know how to market their business. So I actually go and research those podcasts and listen to them. That's how you research them. You listen to what's going on, and then you try to see, oh, is this a good fit for me? You know, does the host sound like somebody I could really chat with? Does she take the kind of guest that I am? Does she even take guests, or do they, he, him, them, take guests at all? So then you want to look at, so once you figure out what you're talking about, you should already know. You just have to kind of figure out what, you know, what you're going to say, or look at the types of podcasts that you're going to go after so you can be a guest on them. Then you go and you look at the different platforms. Remember, I said Stitcher, Spreaker, you could be a YouTube, you could be a guest on a YouTube Live. You could even be a guest in a Facebook group or a Facebook Live. You know, Be Live does that. I do it all the time. Also, Blog Talk Radio is another place where you can find a lot of podcasts. I think they have over 8 million subscribers. So I'm sure you can find some podcasts to get on there. Put your search engine, put your keywords into their search engine, wherever it is that you are, and see what comes up. And when those podcasts or groups that look like they could benefit from you come up, then the third thing you need to do is create your pitch. Now, don't let that word scare you, because I had to be honest, it used to scare the daylights out of me. I used to be like, oh my God, a pitch, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? But I was able to learn from others and break it down. And a pitch is just basically you're giving information to the host or the group owner or whoever is in charge of the podcast or the live or whatever, telling them, hey, this is who I am. This is who I work with. This is how I can help your audience. This is what they're going to walk away with. Because you want to remember that everyone is always tuning into that radio station, WIIFM. What's in it for me? So you have to be able to tell the host of the podcast, the director, the Facebook group owner, the YouTube Live owner, or whatever, hey, this is who I am, this is who I work with, and this is what your audience is going to get out of this from me coming on your podcast, your live. This is what I'm going to share with them, and this is how I'm going to help them. You always have to put that in there, because really they don't care about you. They don't care that you just released this book, that your book is a Amazon #1 bestseller. They're like, so what does that have to do with anything that I'm doing right now? How is that going to help me? Because you want to make your host look great in the eyes of the people who are there in the group or their listeners on their list or whatever, because the whole thing is about making the host look awesome because they were smart enough to pick you to be a guest. So get that? It's pretty easy, right? So again, how do you get started? Very simply, you already know who you are, who you work with, what their pain points are, what they need solved, and what you're willing to provide to them. Second thing is look at the platforms and see all the different podcasts that are there. And just so you know, a lot of podcasts are on a lot of different platforms. Like I'm syndicated to 8 different platforms with my podcast. So you might see them in different places. That just lets you know that they have audiences all over. Much, much better for you, because you just get on there and guest once and you're like everywhere all of a sudden. Then you have to create the pitch. Okay? So very simple. So the next thing is, what are the benefits? We know that we're all looking for what's in it for me. So I'm going to tell you what's in it for you doing podcast guesting. Number one, authority. As I said before, the host audience is going to look at them as, oh, they're the bomb diggity for bringing this person on who is lighting up my life with these great nuggets, this awesome information, and clearing up some stuff for me that I never would have known if I had never known about this person. So you want people to walk away with that. It's also going to give you visibility. I just shared with you a lot of podcasts are on more than one platform. So you guest once, and then it's just syndicated everywhere. All my guests who come on my show, on my podcast, are actually syndicated to 8 different platforms. Isn't that totally awesome? They're on YouTube, they're on Spreaker, they're on Blog Talk Radio, they're on, not Liz, what was the other one? They're on Stitcher, SoundCloud, a couple of others, TuneIn, and there's one more iHeartRadio, and soon to be on Spotify. You're giving a lot. they're getting a lot of benefit. So just let you know. So not everyone does that, but a lot of the big names do. So those are the, and then the second visibility, sorry, and the third thing is clients. You can get clients out of guesting on podcasts. I've done it. A lot of people have done it. Even the gentleman Jack Olsher. Sorry that I keep messing up his name. I know it starts with a J. I just can't remember if it's Jack or James Olsher. He's gotten plenty of clients from guesting on other people's podcasts. Now he also has guested on some big name podcasts like, Gary Vaynerchuk and all the just name one, Entrepreneur on Fire. Just name all those big ones. But you don't have to worry. You don't have to guest on those big ones. How many clients do you actually need to come from a that you've been successful in this? 1, 2, 3, 4. It just kind of depends. You may get 1 here, then you guess again. You get 2 here. You may guess and hit the jackpot with somebody and get like 20 or 30. It just all depends. So you may say, Carol, how do I get clients from these podcasts? Well, the main thing that you have to remember is that when you're on a podcast as a guest, the guest is probably not going to take too kindly to you trying to sell something. So I always go on armed with a freebie or an opt-in so that people can leave that podcast and then get on my list. So I tell them, I've got a freebie for you. I've got 7 strategies, 7 client getting strategies. You can go to my website right now, download it, or I've got 15 resources to help you share information with your audience, and it's absolutely free. You can go to my website and download it, or you can get 3 chapters of my book absolutely free. So I've got a number of different things I can give to people to get, and they all lead to my list. All roads lead to the list, I'm telling you. So when you do that, you get them on your list, and they may not buy anything at first, but they're going to get that download, and then when they hit that button, put their name and their email address in there, and boom, that thank you page comes up. Guess what's on the thank you page? It's a product that they could buy. It's very inexpensive. Some people talk about the tripwire. Maybe you do a $7 or a $10 thing. Maybe it's a $5, or maybe it's a $20, maybe it's a $79. It's inexpensive for your unique perfect audience. Whatever they're thinking is inexpensive or whatever you want to discount, you put that on there on the thank you page. Now, some people will buy and some people will not buy. Some people are going to go to your website, they're going to opt in, and some people won't. It's always a numbers game. So the people who opt in, they go to the thank you page, a percentage of the people will actually buy from you. And then, hey, not only did you get a new list member, but you got a new client. How about that? So what if they don't buy? Then they actually, if you go to my website, into a sequence where the next day they're sent an email saying thank you for downloading. The next day they're sent some information about what I'm doing or some content of value to them. It's not like I send them emails and say, buy this, buy this, buy this. I don't do that. I send, hey, June Klein, how you doing? I actually send them an email. Now, I don't send it. I'm not sending it because I could be on the podcast at 10 a.m. in the morning, and the people don't download it till midnight that night, and they listen to me, and then they're like, oh, I like her, and follow over to our website, and then they download my opt-in, and it could be 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not sitting at my computer like, oh my God, I hope sign up for this thing. No, honey, that stuff is automated, okay? They log in. Oh, thanks, June. They log in, they get the download, and then they get into the series where they're automatically getting these emails. I send them probably about 6 or 7 content-rich emails that is teaching them something that has to do with whatever they downloaded. And they're feeling so great. And then, of course, around the 5th or 6th email, I'm presenting them with a product. Usually, it's a product that they were presented at the very first time that they on the thank you page, and it was a very special low price, but now it's not low price anymore. It's lower than they could actually buy it if they just went to the site. But then when they got the one-time offer, so now they're presented again, and a percentage of people do buy. So that's how you do it. That's how you get clients. You get them free information. You give them a chance to upgrade and buy something, even if it's $10 or $50, 30, 40, $100, or whatever your audience is. It depends on what your opt-in thing is. And then you nurture them with an email series that gives them content that's ongoing for about, 5 or 6, 7 emails. And then you offer them, once you've built them up, you're building up that know, like, and trust factor in each email that you send out. And once you get to the end, you're saying, hey, I got this offer for this product. It's really going to help you do all these things that I just told you could do. And it's this price. A percentage of people will buy. I tell you, I did that. I first put out my first funnel in 2016, and within 5 minutes of me putting that funnel out, I got a client. And then probably a little while later, I got another client. And one, this lady bought, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, what is she buying from? She was in the sequence from that email series. I had no idea that I had even forgotten the thing was running, and I was still making money off of it. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is a thing. So when I listened to the gentleman talking about the podcast, guesting on podcasts and getting clients from it, I was glued to it. I was like, oh, wow, I'm already doing that. I got to share this with my people, and I got to get them to understand that you need to go out there and you need to find podcasts, you need to get on them, and you need to start getting clients. Forget trying to spend all this money. Although you can, you can spend money on Facebook ads and all that. You can do webinars. You can do all this. But I'm telling you, guesting on a podcast, how long are you going to be a guest? 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. You make, 1, 2, 3, 10, 20 sales off of that. Hey, I'll take that all day, every day. Well, I got for you because we're running down our time, and I'm not going to keep you very long. So I told you about how to make money. Get clients from Guest No Podcast. I have a product for you. If you go to which is csicorporation.com/product/EM101, it's my email marketing 101 that is actually going to tell you to do all the stuff I just told you to do. You know how we were talking about that email sequence, that funnel, that you set up your email sequence to set up everything you need so that you can go out there and start guesting on podcasts. And at the end, when the host says, hey, do you have anything special for our guest? You're like, I sure do. Here's my da-da-da-da, and you give it to them. They have to go to your website, download it, and they're in your sequence. And now you're going to make money off of them at some point. It may be right then when they get the thank you, or maybe it's a couple of days later when they read one of the other emails, or maybe it's at the end when they transition over to your regular email list and they start buying from you. Either way, you're going to make money. So this, you can go over to the page right now, csicorporation.com/products/EM101 for email marketing 101. And what you're going to get is 30 days of active campaign. They normally give you 14 days free. I'm giving you 30 days free of active campaign because this is a system that I use to run this. And then you're also going to get, remember that product sequence funnel thingy I was telling you about that I set up? You're actually going to get a copy of that with all the emails. There's 9 emails included, and you can use those emails to structure your own funnel, have your own thingy going, okay? And then you're also going to get 30 of my super best headlines that I created. I used to do some stuff for Fiverr, and I was like 5-star all the way. These people were always like, Carol, we love your headlines. Can you do some headlines? I was just doing headlines 24/7. And I stopped doing it because I was like, hey, I'm taking these headlines and I'm using them in my own stuff now. So that's where I get God-given ability. I use the headlines, but I've got 30 different headlines that you can just change the words out to work for you. And that's part of it. And then you'll also become a member of my Social Media Secret Sauce Facebook group, where I do a training every Monday and plus information all the time about how to really market your business using social media. And because email marketing, social media marketing, content marketing, and your web website are the 4 pillars of online business success. So I talk about that whole thing in there when I'm training, but it's more of a focus on social media because we all got to use it. This is part of social media, but I do a training. So again, you're going to get 30 days of active campaign. You're going to get the product automation sequence that I was telling you about, the actual real emails that I use, so you can take them and manipulate them and turn them, put them in your own words, 30 headlines, and you get entry into my social media Secret Sauce Facebook group. And regularly this program sells for $97. It is only $67 for the next couple of days, but hurry, when the special is off, the special is off. So I want you to go there right now, but only go there if you want to make some money. Only go there, use your email marketing to get money, to make money while you're sleeping. Who wants to do that? This girl, and this girl does. So I'm helping you with that. So I hope that this has been of help to you to get going. And now that you know that you can make money, get clients, gain visibility, and be the authority in your niche or industry by guesting on other people's podcasts. Because, in my book, I talk about using other people's audience. And, honey, this is the best way to do it. Because you don't even have to create a podcast. You don't have to think of anything. All you do is go on there and be your awesome, wonderful self. Get booked on these podcasts. Go on there, be your most awesome self as a guest. Be entertaining, give them nuggets. Because you can only give them so much, right? I mean, to get everything out of your head that it would take you 20 years maybe. But you can just give them a little slice of what you're doing. Don't hold back. Give your all for that whole 30 minutes or hour, 45 minutes, whatever time you have on there. And then just get them over to your website, because they're going to buy from you because you are the bomb diggity. So that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you again on Thursday. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in, Jim. See you later.